Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming tonight to this wonderful place, Meilenwerk in Berlin, and everybody drives a car, so I would assume there is plenty of opportunity to see historical cars as well as pretty new cars. Unfortunately, many of those are really CO2 emission optimized. So, but maybe some of your thoughts will bring this together. On behalf of IBM, I extend a very warm welcome. Welcome to Berlin. And as General Manager of IBM Germany, I'm certainly honored to speak to you tonight. I will not be very long. I want to be brief because I know I am in between dinner and entertainment and exchanging. So, nevertheless, before we sit down, I would like to share some thoughts, some observations I have personally on smarter cities. First of all, I think Berlin is a perfect place to hold a conference like this. IBM hosted about a year ago its Smarter Cities conference right here. We started in Berlin. It was a tour around the globe. And Berlin is, from a place, an interesting place. The wall came down about 20 years ago, and in just 2 decades, the city was rebuilt entirely. And when you think through what it means to reunify two systems, not only politically, as well as from a process point of view, as well as from a transportation point of view, nevertheless, people who visited Berlin, even during the days when the city was split by the wall, some of the underground station, you couldn't leave the subway, but you could see the different place. So I think it's a perfect place to get a sense and get a feeling what happened in the last 2 decades. After Berlin, we went to New York City, we went to Ho Chi Minh City, and I think in Altman just returned from Shanghai, where the most recent Smarter Cities took place and accompanied more or less the expo. And I do think that you all see the pressing needs that cities going to change. All the prediction looking forward says that in 2050, 7% of the world's population will live in cities. And if you take a high developed country like Germany, like the UK, like France, like the United States, where the age pyramid is not anymore sitting as it should be on the broader side of the pyramid, where it's sitting right on the top, you see that many things need to change, and I'm sure many things will change. Now, let me illustrate an example where I believe information technology as well as processes can help in smarter cities in a big way. And the subject is called a particular matter. And for those of you, for my country fellows from Germany, it's called Feinstaub. Particular matter has been a major concern of cities now for many, many years. And according to the projections, particular matter causes more than 500,000 new cases of disease every single year. In our cities, particular matter is originating from cars, exhaust, residing industries, and air conditioning technology. And therefore we got an EU guideline. And the maximum permissible value of 50 micrograms per cubic meter must not be exceeded in a city on more than 35 days a year. So everybody should think 35 years, it's a very fair measure. Now, let me share with you a few examples from last year, from 2009, what happened in some of the famous cities here in Germany. So for example, in Stuttgart, the famous Neckartor exceeded the limit on 112 days. In Munich, on the Landshuter Allee, there were 52 days of exceeding the limit, and same at the Rhine Harbor in the city of Krefeld. Now, when you count all these days, when you multiply this with the fee the cities have to pay to the EU, I think there can be tons of money spent to avoid those situations and introduce congestion systems and others. And let me share with you what we have done in Stockholm, where we basically built such a system. And we started with a very easy way to avoid traffic. We raised a fee. And the fee basically helped us to stimulate and get many, many people to accept public transportation. 14,000 people a day changed from their cars, from their motorcycles to the public traffic, to the public subways, to the public buses. At the very same time, given the fact that 14,000 people now are adjusting and taking the buses, the convenience factor increased because in a higher frequency now the buses will leave and will reach the different points in the city. By the way, the toll, the Maut in German, got an interesting increase to the budget of the city, and on top of that, more than 14–15% CO2 emission got reduced. So at the end of the day, it was a win-win situation for the city, for the people in the cities, for the frequent travelers. Now, for my country, fellow Germans, I have to say we have a piece of work to perform, because here in Germany, the law is so indifferent that right now a city isn't allowed to raise a toll. So that's something we have to take on and work hard so that we have the same opportunity and can realize the same opportunity the people in Stockholm and in other European countries already embarked on, like in London, like in other cities. So, with closing, I want to invite you for a very nice evening, have fun, exchange, and hopefully this event here will be a point of incubation where a lot of thoughts come together and a lot of ideas be shared and lead to projects. One thing, one thought, it's very important. Europe is a geography with many, many nations, with a lot of traditions, and particularly here in Germany, we like to debate. From my point of view, debate too much. So whenever you share ideas tonight and tomorrow, I hope you're going to leave and put something in action. So when you reconvene in a year from now or in 2 years from now, we all have made one thought reality, and indeed the cities we live in became really smart. Thank you very much and have a very nice evening.